How can you, as a vice president, stand there and say that we have too many of them now and we are going to take them out? You gave us the path, and now how can you stop it and tell us we don't belong here anymore?
There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States. Now.
Boom. Right there. Welcome back, guys. If there is one clip that perfectly sums up the absolute disconnect between modern political activists and everyday Americans, it's this one right here. You saw that opening snippet. This activist didn't walk up to that microphone to ask a serious policy question. She walked up there armed with a Wikipedia printout, trying to pull off a personal, emotional ambush on JD Vance about his own family. It's the classic modern activist playbook. When you can't win on the facts, you try to make it personal. You try to use identity politics as a weapon to bully a conservative into backing down. But Vance didn't blink. He took all that emotional bait, threw it right out the window, and brought the entire conversation back to what actually matters: the rule of law and the American worker. We're going to dive into the full context of this back and forth because it is a masterclass in how to handle bad faith gotcha questions. Before we roll the tape, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let me know in the comments if you're sick and tired of these identity politics traps. Let's watch the whole thing.
Is that right now, America, thanks in part to the Biden border invasion, but also thanks in part to a lot of bad immigration policy, right now we have let in too many immigrants into the United States of America. That is just a fundamental reality. Now look, legal immigration is complicated because we let in about 1 million legal immigrants into the United States of America every single year, and I think the evidence is pretty clear that a lot of those immigrants are actually undercutting the wages of American workers. It's one of the reasons why the President of the United States and a lot of us in the administration have encouraged H-1B reform, because if you look at the H-1B visa, what it's supposed to be is that you have a super genius who's studying at an American university, who's working at a great company. You want that super genius to stay in the United States of America and not go somewhere else. What it's actually used to do is hire an accountant at a 50% discount to an American citizen. I don't think that we should be hiring accountants from foreign countries when we've got accountants right here in the United States that would love to work for a good wage. Now, you asked about, I think, your girlfriend, you said, and I obviously don't know the full details about your situation, but my view is, look, there are people who want to come to the United States of America, and some of them, I'm sure, can enrich the United States of America by coming here, but we have got to get our overall numbers way, way down. Too many people have come into the United States of America. I am married to the daughter of immigrants who came to the United States in the 1980s. I do believe that many immigrants do in fact enrich the United States of America. But here's the problem. We don't even know how many illegal aliens we have. We don't even know. The best guess is probably 25, 30 million people. I've heard estimates as high as 50 million. When something like that happens, you've got to allow your own society to cohere a little bit, to build a sense of common identity, for all the newcomers to assimilate, the ones who are going to stay, to assimilate into American culture. Until you do that, you've got to be careful about any additional immigration in my...
Hello, Mr. Vice President. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to talk here today. I did not agree with many of the things that you said right ahead of this, but I don't think that's my point to discuss here. What I want to ask is, you are married to a woman who is not Christian. In her Wikipedia, I just looked that up. I wanted to know what her faith was. I didn't know this before. But she still calls herself Hindu. You are raising 3 kids in cultural, racial, religious household. How are you maintaining, or how are you teaching your kids not to keep your religion ahead of their mother's religion? Or how are you teaching them that your kind, they're that kind who got here just few years or few decades ago, is different or is better than your mom's kind who got here just a generation before? How are you balancing that? And when you talk about too many immigrants here. When did you guys decide that number? Why did you sell us a dream? You made us spend our youth, our wealth in this country and gave us a dream. You don't owe us anything. We have worked hard for it. Then how can you as a vice president stand there and say that we have too many of them now and we are going to take them out to people who are here rightfully so by paying the money that you guys asked us? You gave us the path, and now how can you stop it and tell us we don't belong here anymore? And one more thing, I'm sorry, one more thing.
Sure.
Do you have to
There's
be...
a lot there. I don't know if I'm going to remember all this, but I will try.
I'm sorry. I had to say all of this, and please take it with due... I'm saying all of this with due
go ahead.
respect.
Please.
I have no intention of causing a scene here or anything, but...
We're not close to causing a scene, don't worry.
But we talked about Christianity, all of this. I'm not even Christian, and I'm here standing to show support. Why are we making Christianity one of the major things that you have to have in common to be one of you guys, to show that I love America just as much as you do? Why is that still a question? Why do I have to be a Christian?
Okay, so there was a lot there, and I'm going to try to respond to as much of it as I can. So on the question of immigration, so first of all, I can believe that we should have lower immigration levels, but if the United States passed a law and made a promise to somebody, the United States, of course, has to honor that promise. Nobody's talking about that. I'm talking about people who came in violation of the laws of the United States of America, and I'm talking about in the future reducing the number of people. Sorry, what?
May I continue on that? Because when you just said you are not stopping with the people who came here legally, right? But you are pushing out policies that hurt us. And these policies are not even solving the problems. These policies are just creating chaos.
No, ma'am. Okay, so again, I'm gonna finish answering the question, and then if I've answered all 9 of your questions in less than 15 minutes, then we can keep on going. We got to have a little fun, right? So here's the thing. I can believe that the United States should lower its levels of immigration in the future, while also respecting that there are people who have come here through lawful immigration pathways that have contributed to the country. But just because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world, it's to look out for the people of the United States. Now,
You can just feel the awkwardness in the room by the time she's done speaking, can't you? She thought she had him in a corner, but she ended up totally trapping herself. Let's break down why her argument completely fell apart, because it exposes the biggest flaw in the open borders logic. She basically tried to use Vance's wife and kids as an emotional shield. Her argument was literally, well, your wife is the daughter of immigrants, so you're a hypocrite if you don't want an infinite number of people coming into this country. Think about how deeply flawed that is. It assumes that if you support a legal, orderly immigration system, you must automatically hate immigrants. It completely erases the massive, glaring line between legal immigrants who followed the rules, like Vance's family, and unchecked, mass migration that strains our systems. And did you see how quickly she tried to talk over him when he brought up the actual math? That's the telltale sign of an activist who realizes they're out of their depth. Vance brought up a brilliant point about the H-1B visa system that a lot of politicians are too afraid to touch. He pointed out how major corporations use these programs to underbenefit American citizens, bringing in foreign labor at a massive discount to undercut American accountants, tech workers, and college grads. That is a real, tangible economic issue affecting millions of families. But because she couldn't answer the economic reality, she just pivoted right back to feelings and selling a dream. Look, America is a generous nation, but a country is not an international charity. It's a sovereign nation with borders, infrastructure, and a specific legal process. You can't run a superpower on vibes and emotional blackmail. My favorite part of the entire exchange was how Vance managed to be incredibly respectful but entirely uncompromising. He didn't take the bait, he didn't get defensive about his marriage, and he didn't apologize for putting America first. His final point is something every single politician in Washington needs to tattoo on their arm: the vice president's job is to protect the citizens of the United States, period. If a nation doesn't prioritize its own people first, it ceases to be a nation. She went into that room looking for a viral clip to embarrass him, and she walked out getting a complete civics and economics lesson. Absolute home run for Vance.